Hi guys, so this is Startron, and I know some of you have seen this and don't quite know what to do, so I'm going to take you through a bit of a script and hopefully show off most of the game and hopefully enlighten a few people as to how it's played, what to do and things like that. So I will jump in. Let's generate a new cosmos just so everything's reset. So the first thing that you'll be presented with is the Cosmos overview. I can navigate between different systems with these little green arrows that prompt me as to which direction to go to get to one of them. You can see at the top of the screen there I've just added incoming transmission. That's just at the start of the game to say, yeah, welcome, this is the game, play it, this will eventually get fleshed out into more of a sort of a story thing. You'll start your home planet and it'll tell you like what to do and give you a bit more in depth. So that's just to show that the transmissions work. If I was to go into one of these systems, which are represented by different icons depending on what type of system they are, from things like nebula to black holes and various other stars in between. If I went into one of them with the I key, I'm going to see the system screen, and I can navigate with the up and down arrows between all the different entities in the system. If I press space when I've got one selected, I'll fly over to it. So you can see I can fly around all over the system if there's an entity there. Empty systems, I won't be able to go anywhere because there's nowhere to go. So I'm going to try and find a system with a space station in it, and the reason I need that will become clear in a bit. So let's fly around a little bit, see if I can find one with a space station. This one does have a space station. Is that going to be good enough? I could do with one with a space station and a few other things in it though, and that way I don't have to keep coming out and going back into different systems all the time. This would be fine, but it's around a black hole and I need sunlight to start the game. So this could be a good one. We've got moons here, we've got a space station, two of them, and yeah, there's a sun. So, right, let's go to the space station first. And so when I zoom into an entity, I'm presented with the body view, as it's called in the code. That might change in game lingo, and I can sort of fly around it. With a space station there's not much you can do. You can just go in and out of the little docks on the side which are flashing at you. In other entities you can do things, so we'll see that in a bit. But I'm going to dock with this space station, and so this is what I'm presented with when I go into a space station. I need, according to my script, to buy 2 crayons, 1 juice, 1 fluff, 4 sunlight cups and 2 soft metal. I can see in my cargo hold if I press C at any time that I have a bunch of other stuff that let's say my little home world has given me to start the game with. You get this whenever you generate a cosmos. So I'll be using most of that, but I do need a few other things, so let's just go back into the space station. So I know that crayons, juice and fluff are all available at the bar, so if I do let's buy 2 crayons, pink, pink, and a juice and a fluff. So now I've got them. I can see them in my cargo hold, which is good. And I need 4 sunlight cups and 2 soft metals. So I think they're from the parts store. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 soft metal. So these are all sort of things I'm going to need in a minute to build like roads and conveyor belts and things like that. So I now need to go to a moon that's got gomium ore on it. That's something I should have checked. Anyway, yeah, there are a few other stores in the space station that you can go through. They do sell most things, but there are things that you can't buy and you'll have to make. There's a database here that I can look through and see information on all of the sort of the intricacies of the game, somewhat needless information as well, just to sort of flesh it out. And at the end of the guide, or the end of the database, there is a guide that roughly explains what you're trying to do, but this video will outline in detail. So that was the bar, the parts shop, scrapyard on the database. There's nothing else in here at the moment. Some space stations on the right over there will spawn an arcade machine, which is a little mini game I've just finished making for version 0.40. So maybe we'll come across one of those and show that, but it doesn't matter for the moment. The space station looks different at the moment now that I've just flown out of it because the sun's on the other side, so there is a sort of crude lighting engine for any of these little objects. Yeah, that may change over time depending on how adventurous I get with 3D graphics on an ASCII screen. So if I zoom out, let's try and find a moon that's got some gomium ore on it. So this is sort of analogous to gold. What's this? That's susnic, uranium, and on the other side, right, so this moon doesn't have anything. Let's go to the next one. So conveniently all the moons are labelled as something minor, that's just the system name, and then minor and a number. So I don't think any of that is... I think gomium ore is like a little orange dot. Nope. Okay, I might have to go to a different system for that. So let's go in here. There's only one moon. Nope. Doing well so far, could be here a while. This doesn't even have a sun. So it's a little bit of a fiddle to get into a good position to start off with, but obviously it'll all be useful later, it's just to get yourself started. So that's gomium ore there. So yeah, it obviously has a sun. Is there an easier one to get to? Let's do it on the other side. So the sun will go around the planet, it doesn't matter. Eventually the position of the sun will affect whether sunlight absorbers work, but for the moment it's just whether there's a sun in the system, you'll be getting solar power. So I need to go into the build menu, which you can see I've just opened with U. I'll probably be changing that to I when things like quests are in, but never mind. And I need to build a mine at the top of the gomium deposit, so let's go down to mine. I've just pressed control and up and down to cycle through those, and I'll build a mine there. So you can see I've got a mine there. It's represented by that funny AE letter. And then I need to build 3 roads on one side. Let's have 1, 2, 3, and 3 conduits on the other side. 1, 2, 3. So I then need to build a dwelling next to the road. And if I screw any of this up, I basically have to start again, or go and like mine a load of things and sell it and then make all that money back and buy them again. So it's kind of important to get this right at the start, which is why I thought I'd make a video like this. The game's not supposed to be easy. It's never a... You can't actually like prevent yourself from carrying on. It just gets a heck of a lot more difficult with the stuff that the homeworld provides you. I will be making sure that the homeworld tells you at least some of this so that you don't like accidentally waste resources at the start of the game. It's just its early days at the moment. So let's build a dwelling there. You can see the roads connected to it nicely, which is good. Let's have a sunlight absorber on the other side, so the conduit's connected there. And I can see that this conduit's gradually charging up, so the power I can see at the bottom of the screen layer, illuminated conduit, goes down the further away it gets, but it eventually goes to the mine, and I can see that the mine has already dug up a gomium ore here. So if I look down here to where the ore is sitting on the ground, sort of in the ground, I can see on ground is gomium ore, and above it is nothing. And then over here, the ground is rock, but above it is the gomium ore. So it's difficult to see in ASCII world, but you know that's the point of those 2 prompts at the bottom, so you can see what's on the surface and what's above it here. So I've got gomium ore coming out of the mine now. I now need to get 50 of it. That's going to be fun. Let's turn off the build menu and start beaming it up. So if I just hold space, I'm just going to beam it up. 50 just seems like a good amount to get some money going. Gomium's relatively valuable, so I'm just going to sit here and beam up all the gomium that comes out of this mine. So I know this seems tedious, but I mean, you know, you can picture the start of Factorio, you just got to stand around, dig up some ore until you've got enough to do anything with, so this seems fair. I don't have to wait until 50, it's just enough to give me some money to do some things. Obviously I've got some money on me anyway, in the form of chits, which I can see if I go to the bridge at any time, or in a shop. So, nearly there. So that is 50. So that's going to keep spewing it out at the side there, but it won't manage to sort of stack up or anything. It's just one at a time, and then the mine can't do anything if the space above it's blocked. So all buildings that produce things will produce north of them, basically. That's just a technical limitation I've had to deal with. It would be a messy kind of game to be able to rotate buildings and have it able to put things at different angles, because it would be really difficult to tell which direction something's going. There just aren't enough characters, so this seems reasonable for the time being. So I now need to go back out to a space station. I've already forgotten the system I was in, so hang on a minute. Let's make a note of this. My mine is in v0.40. So this is the captain's log that I've just opened. You can access it with the key next to the 1 on the top of your keyboard. If not, if it's an American keyboard, it should be able to be opened with the tilde key next to return or enter, but obviously I don't have an American keyboard I can test that with, so I need to rely on some testers there. And I'm hoping my system I was in was up here. Yeah. So let's have the station is in v0.40. So let's go down to the station. And let's go into there, and I need to sell the gomium, which I think is sold in the scrapyard. So that's the gomium ore there, so I can just sell all that. So there's a bit of money, and I need to buy forced soft metal, which is not in that shop, it's in the part shop. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 metal plating, 4 hard metal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 9 conductors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that should be me for the moment. I've just realised there are 2 stations in this system, so the bar hasn't spawned in this, so the arcade machine hasn't spawned in this bar, but I wonder if the other one has it. So you can see the space stations generate different shapes and things like that. So no, it's not in that bar either, so fine, whatever. It's not important for the moment. So let's go back down to our mining colony, let's call it, on v0.40 Miner 1. So it's still chucking out ore onto the ground. So I need to build an up conveyor above the mine and then a refinery above that. So let's have the build menu open and an up conveyor. So I need to clear the land first and then build straight away before the mine puts it down. So I'm going to press T and then enter or space. So that's built, I can see it there. And then the mine should start chucking it out, and then the conveyor will chuck it one further. So you can see there's now 2 in front of the mine. And then I need to build a refinery as well. So yeah, clear the ground, put that. Oh. I don't have enough resources for that. Why don't I have enough resources? I need 4 hard metal. So if I manage to, how have I used hard metal somewhere? Does that take hard metal? Never mind. Okay, that's clearly just a shortcoming of my instructions. So let's just go and get some hard metal. I think it said I needed 4, so let's have hard metal, 1, 2, 3, that's where we screw ourselves, right, so let's go and get some more gold ore, gomium ore even. I wrote these instructions a fair while ago, I think I must have changed the recipes since then, so let's have a bunch more of that up. Hopefully I shouldn't need too many because it's only 4 hard metal that I need and I've already got 2 I think. Okay, so let's go back out and sell that. And sell that in, not that shop, in that. Gomium ore, get rid of all of that. And hopefully I can buy enough hard metal, which I think it needed 4, and leave out there. Back to the mining colony. So hopefully this time I can build a refinery now. So, yeah, looks like it. So let's clear the land and put that down. There's a refinery now. And the reason I've got the refinery in that position with the dwelling and the sunlight absorber just next to it is that the refinery takes quite a bit of power, so it needs to be quite close to the sunlight absorber, whereas a mine can cope on relatively low power. If I'd put the sunlight absorber down here, by the time the power went up the wire to the refinery, it would have been too low for it to use. So the refinery has enough power, and I can see there on the ground, well, above ground, we've got a gomium bar instead of the gomium ore, so it's definitely doing something. So now I need to go and suck up a load of those. So let's gather 50 of them and sell them. So they take a little bit longer because each one has to, it sort of sits there for an extra tick on the refinery before it processes, so I will gather these at a slower rate than the original gomium. Do I actually need 50 though? Is that a bit much? Let's get 20 and see where we go. So ultimately what I'm trying to do is feed these gomium bars into a storage yard, and then they can be accumulated sort of off-world or while I'm sat here watching them, and that way I don't have to sit here sucking things up with the beam, and I can just come and collect all straight from the storage yard. So that's obviously the ideal that you want in any of these colonies. The colonies will do other things later. They'll have things like, you know, hopefully hotels and little research facilities and things like that on, so that you can have different functions going on. But for the moment, all of the colonies are basically just so that you can gather resources or combine them and gather whatever they've combined into. So let's go for 40, and then I'll go. So yeah, that's 40. So if we go back up to the space station now, and into there, and I think they're still sold in the scrapyard. Yeah. Do they sell for a slightly higher price in the parts? So they sell for 28 there. No, they don't sell, it's only valuables in the parts. So okay, let's have selling all of them. So that's a bunch more money. So now I need to buy 7 soft metal, which is not in there. It's in there. Right, so I'm guessing this takes into account that I've already got 1 on me, so let's go with the instructions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1 metal plating, 1 of them. 1 hard metal. 11 conductors, that's probably where it gets expensive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And 4 valuables, right, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so maybe I don't need 50 gomium bars, that was probably enough. Okay, so let's go back out. Now I know it seems a little bit tedious to have to keep navigating between systems and entities, but that was something I sort of wanted to put in the game deliberately, because there are far too many games I feel that distance is not a problem. Everything's done with like little menus, and you could just, everything's so easy access. I want distance to matter in this, so having a bit of time to do things makes it feel more like you're actually doing it. So I need to build a yard, which will be up here. So that's that. Let's have another conveyor belt into it. So that should just feed into there. It's not powered, so it's not going to do anything at the moment. Conduit, and a road, and a road. So that should trickle along. Yeah, there we go, and then it starts going. I can see the gomium bar's gone in there now. So there's no way to view what is in the storage yard at the moment. I might make that a possibility later. But if I look at my cargo hold, I can see, yeah, I don't have any gomium or gomium bars. So if I go back here, get rid of the build menu and collect all from storage yards, I can now see I've got 9 gomium bars in my ship's cargo hold. So if I was to leave it doing that for a bit, so the intention there is that you can go off and do other things on the planet, you know, sort out your colonists or something like that, and then these conveyor belts and automation systems will start trickling into the yard, and then eventually it'll have clocked up the rate at which those increase, so I can leave the world, I can go off and explore somewhere. So why don't we go and find one of those other space stations, see if we can find the minigame, and then I'll come back to that and hopefully it'll have things for me to collect that I wasn't even present for. So I think it would be this one would have one. So in here, yeah, there we go. Just for the sake of having more to the world universe, sort of the world building aspect of it, I've added a little mini game here for version 0.40, which is literally an asteroids clone. Well, I didn't actually play asteroids, but I believe this is a clone of it. And the idea, yeah, shoot the asteroids, get the high score. If you crash into one, you'll die, and that's the end of the game. So doesn't seem like much, but it's something to do. You know, maybe I just want to chill out here, wait for my conveyor belts. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Wait for my conveyor belts to total up, get some Gomian bars going, and then I can sell them, and I don't have to sit there and tediously hold down the beam to suck them all up. So, you know, maybe I want to prove to someone that I'm amazing at asteroids, so I want to get a high score and then send that to them. You know, there's a bunch of things I could do with this. I could make this sort of thing go to a server or something silly like that, but you know, this is fine for the moment. It harks back to the days when games had more in them than the core gameplay. I think, as I said on the forum, the last game that I saw that was anything like this was StarCraft 2, where it had a little arcade machine in the background there. And I mean, that being said, things like Fallout have them, and the little Pip-Boys and things like that. So it's more to add to the universe. It's just a bit of fun. So if I just crash this, yeah, there we go, got a high score. That will be saved with my player data, which is all wonderful and working. So if I go out and go find my little system again. So what have I got on me? Oh, managed to crash the game. How did I crash the game from there? Huh. Not even sure what I did there. Hopefully this stays recording. If I start that up again. Go in. No, it's really not happy about that. Okay, well there's a little bug for me to work out. There's something to do with the cargo hold that means it's trying to detect the current body that I'm on, and if I'm flying around in space I'm not on a body, so that's clearly a bug that I'm about to fix. But it should work in here. Ah, that's good. I didn't save the game because the game crashed. Anyway, I would have seen that I could press L, pick them all up, and they'd be in my inventory. But that's a rough overview. Obviously, when you play it, there shouldn't be any bugs, so it won't crash in the middle of what you're trying to record. So that's Startron for the moment. Hope this has filled in a few blanks as to what's going on. See you next time.